What a beautiful atmosphere here at the Hungaroring. Hello and welcome to the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. A band is playing, as you can hear it. It's grid walk time, so a few spectators had the opportunity to get a ticket and to see the drivers really close. But you at home will have even a closer look on our drivers, because we are here to report directly from the grid for you. We are ahead of race 2 and ahead of this beautiful S-Way pace truck from Iveco, which guide, of course, are the trucks to the first round, and then with a rolling start, off we go to race 2. Since I said race 2, what happened at race 1? Let's have a look.
Ready to go, and in the heat and all of the incredible conditions that we've had here this weekend, everybody was ready to get the job underway. Norbert Kish, starting on pole in front of his home crowd, was certainly away with it from the get-go. A fantastic battle between Sascha Lenz and Adam Lachko in the opening laps, not really distracting us from contact further down the order. Martin Gibson getting into Clemens Hecker, Andre Kurzim getting into Jamie Anderson. The battles were straight on with it though in the latter end of the field. Andre and Jamie Anderson here side by side. Jochen Hahn was slightly in the walls with a bit of damage to the front right of his truck. He managed to get past Adam Lachko. Martin Gibson had some fantastic drifting during the latter parts of his race, but that would be the reason. Not over exuberance, but a broken rear wheel and completely flat left rear tyre. But a clear road was in front of Norbert Kish for the entirety of his race. Another driver with damage was Clemens Hecker, that right rear tyre going down on his truck. Shane Brereton survived a very scary start to take a win in the Promoters' Cup, but Norbert Kish was once again untouchable on home ground, taking a fantastic and very stylish victory here at the wonderful Hungaroring. Let's see how he can do from the reverse grid, and can he make it 2 from 2 this afternoon? Sascha Lenz was also enjoying some of the celebrating as well. Certainly some fantastic showboating going on by these incredibly talented drivers. But Norbert Kish comes into the afternoon with all of his fans behind him and a very big smile on his face after a fantastic opening race.
The band is still on fire and they're getting closer right now, and we are getting closer to race 2. On P1 is Andre Kurzim there, having last pictures taken without the helmet, as you can see, with his team in front of his truck. Beautiful pictures here. Of course, the sun is shining. As Norbert Kish was saying to us, weather conditions 50-50. There are some huge black clouds over there. But here is the truck of Shane Brereton, of course, Apollo tires. Let's have a look and let's talk to Shane Brereton. Hello. The band is playing. Grid walk is always very special. There were a couple of fans taking photos. What is the atmosphere like for you?
Yeah, no, it's very good. There's a lot of Norbert fans there cheering and hoarding.
But of course you've got some fans too, because of course you had one podium after race 1, and there has been, you said, also huge contact during that race, and of course there has been a little investigation going on. Theo Calvé was involved. How was it resolved right now?
No action to be taken. I don't think Steffi knew I was there, and I was squeezed into, Calvé. You understand him being upset, but there was no malice in, and when you watch the videos you can see.
That's good. And we watched the video as well due to Smart Witness. Thank you very much for providing us with these in-race action videos. So you said headlights on, but there's still a little bit of sun left.
Yeah, it's a bit concerning how much it'll be in your eyes on certain corners, because it's very up and down here, but it's good.
How is it with the sun so deep and with the helmet?
It can be a problem, but hopefully it won't be.
Good luck then. Thank you very much, Shane Brereton. As you can see, the sun is very low, right directly in my eyes as well. So, Chaz, I'm glad you've got sunglasses, but in your commentary booth, there's no sun, isn't it?
No, there's not much sunlight coming in here at all, to be honest with you. I'm in the back of the pickup in the paddock, but it's still a fantastic job by all of the guys here from Viga Solutions that have sorted all of this out for me. So I must thank them for all of the hard work that they've done to get me into the position that I'm in right now. But yeah, you're very, very correct there, Christina. The sun getting very low indeed. You can see how long the shadows are here. Now, that is something that we would often see in endurance racing that would become a problem for the drivers. And to be honest, we've got a little bit more to discuss a bit later on about endurance racing. But right now, Christina is down there with Andrej Kurzim.
Yeah, he still got his helmet off. We saw how you took some pictures with the team. It's always a great team effort, isn't it, competing?
Yes, it's a team sport. One driver is not a good driver without a good team, yes. Now we take some pictures and yes.
And hopefully some pictures of you maybe leading the pack afterwards. That would be great for you. How are your chances that we're going to see you at the podium?
Yes, I think it will be not easy for us. Our pace is a little bit not so easy, yes. And hopefully we can get a good result, but I think it will be very hard today.
What is also very hard, Shane Brereton already told us, is the sun that is so low. I mean, right now it's kind of in your eyes as well, to be honest.
Yes, the sun is a big problem at the moment, but now everybody has the same problem and we do our best.
Good luck for you. The band plays. It's good mood here at the Hungaroring. Thanks, Andrej Kurzim. So he's going to put his helmet on. Let's have a look here on our fire marshals already there. They're helping us, of course. They got some quite huge helmets as well, haven't they?
Yes, indeed, plenty of protective gear for those guys, and to be honest, there's nothing small about truck racing at all. I actually posted on social media with that very quote earlier on. Stefan Fass was not in the first race of the weekend after having to go through an entire engine change overnight. And this is a quick look at the circuit. You just had a quick glimpse of Steffi Halm there in the background. She'll be starting this race third on the grid, but look how difficult this circuit is. Very, very difficult indeed, very windy. But through the back of the paddock, you can see at the bottom of the circuit map there, the paddock runs all the way along that sort of thin strip, and you can see so much of the circuit from here. It's a gorgeous place to be. 14 corners, very high temperatures as well. And to be honest, it's a very different type of heat here, honestly. It's not quite as sort of muggy as we call it in the UK, not quite as humid, but at the same time, this dry heat really can get to you after a long day. So everybody making sure they stay hydrated and making sure that they stay as cool as they can. And speaking of cool customers, well, Steffi Halm, she's decided to go on a bit of a walk by the look of it. She's thinking, well, stuff this, I'm off. I'm going to go and enjoy the sunshine before the race gets underway. We shouldn't be too far away from the start now, though. So Steffi maybe just having a last-minute toilet break or something before she gets into the truck and gets on with the job. But of course, 8 trucks reversed on this grid from the first result that we had. So the top 8 finishing trucks from that first race get their order completely reversed for this grid, which means that race 1 winner Norbert Kish will start 8th on the grid. Only 5 drivers miss out on that, but importantly, it puts Shane Brereton in 2nd place on the grid. Now, he is much further ahead than the next driver in the Promoters' Cup for the Chrome-rated drivers. He starts 2nd, and his next rival is Jamie Anderson in 9th position. And we go back down there to Christina, who's got another interview lined up for us.
Yes, kind of, because we were here ahead of the truck of Norbert Kish, and he's got really lots to do, and right now he's there with his team having a chat. It's really a loose atmosphere here at the grid walk, so that's really nice to see. And I had the chance to walk with him, because he has got 2 autograph sessions going on, and after autograph session 1, we took a walk. Let's have a look. So, Norbert Kish, lots of autographs here at the station in front of the Goodyear camp, of course, and a lot to do for you.
Yeah. It's, like I said yesterday, it's always a busy weekend and lots of people around here, and yeah, they just love, the whole thing, the atmosphere. And I think, as a driver, and I'm sure the other Hungarian drivers can say the same, that we can feel the love so much here, and the enthusiasm. It was just, a guy was explaining to me that he liked the first race so much that he was even, in tears when I won. So, I'm a little bit in tears as well. It's so nice. It's so nice to be here, yeah.
So we're going with you to the 2nd station, because you're not done yet. Let's have a walk over. So, Norby, Hungaroring is a very special track for you as well. What are the specialities we really love about this track?
Yeah, I think the whole layout of the circuit is very challenging for a driver. So I like to drive on it. It's challenging on the technical side as well, with the setup and with all the technical things. And also outside of the track, here in the paddock, we are now behind the grandstands. I think it's definitely a circuit built for many people to be here. And also during the Formula One, you can see this circuit is really special and unique. So I love it here, and I love to be Hungarian and love to drive on the Hungaroring. It's really nice.
So the queue is here. There are lots of fans waiting. This is the second station. How many autographs did you sign yet, and how many are yet to come?
I can't even count it. So many, and it's probably will be taking many more.
Good fun.
Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic to see that Norbert is so popular here, and it's understandable, isn't it? He's an absolute star of the championship, and of course here in Hungary they all absolutely love him. We saw the fantastic atmosphere once he won that first race of the weekend, and you can imagine that we're going to see more of the same this time round. Steffi Hallman, I think Sasha Lenz there going into the garage. That's garage 4, not far from where we are actually, so I'm going to keep my eye out for them coming out the back of the garage, and they are literally stood right next to my truck right now actually. They are right outside my window, but they're just having a bit of a break before the race gets underway. There's not much place in terms of the pit lane to get shade here, so the garages sort of cast a load of shade onto the back of the paddock here, so they're just trying to get out of the heat wherever they can, because when they're in the race suits and they're in the cabins of the trucks, it can be so hot, like really hot, so they need to try and just cool down wherever they can. You'll see all of the doors on the trucks completely open to let that ventilation through. And speaking of trying to stay cool, Christina, are you able to find a bit of shade now as everyone clears the grid?
Yes, I'm trying to find a shade. I found it. The door's open here at the truck of Theo Calvé. Hi, good to see you. So we already talked about the investigation with Shane Brereton and Steffi Halm, of course, involved. Are you happy with the result?
No, of course not. There was no penalty, there was no thing. I don't think it's really normal, but it's racing. It's like that. We cannot do anything. So now I start from the 11th position. It was a really hard first race because I got a tire puncture. It was really hard to finish. But it's like it is. The day is not the best one, but it's okay.
It's competing in sports is always very difficult, as you said, because you're competing in the Promoters Cup and you were very successful at the first race weekend. So yes, this is your perspective here at almost at the end of the grid. But how many chances do you see to overtake?
No, honestly, I will try to make my best. I think I will come back a little bit. I will try to. And let's see. We cannot say anything before the start, before the checkered flag.
Yes, that's true, but maybe there's some perspective. So tires are already set up. It is a bit cooler than it was today in the morning. Or are the conditions very different? And I see a black cloud over here, but it will stay sunny, would?
Yeah, it's strange weather because yesterday it was same cloud. It was black, but no rain, nothing. So maybe now it will be the same. But yeah, it's better to drive in those conditions because it's colder, and for the trucks it's better. The truck is not hot, and when it's hot, it's really slippery. The grip is really low, and the truck, like for the engine, it's better to have less temperature, we can say.
You once said to me you are a young driver, so you are already gaining more experience. And this is quite an experience here as well with the open grid walk. Some fans going around here. What do you say about the atmosphere? And some fans back in the stands. That was different.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice atmosphere here. The fans are really motivated. We can hear that. But it's cool to have this grid walk. We can go out, chill a little bit before the race, and it's better to have some fresh air. Don't stay inside the truck. I prefer personally, but now I think it's time to come back on the truck.
Absolutely, there was a siren going on, so go back in the truck. You see, Chaz, we are looking for shades, but he needs to get into his truck right now and into the oven. I will call it like that right now.
You're totally right, Christina. It really is like an oven that does 100 miles an hour and weighs about 5.5 tons. I'm not sure there's many ovens like that in the world. There is Steffi Harm's oven, the Iveco S-Way oven, the number 44 machine, Team Schwaben truck, fantastic looking machine. She lines up on row 2 alongside Antonio Alberthetti. Antonio certainly looking for a good result from 4th on the grid, ahead of a lot of his main rivals. Beautiful lighting though actually here for our camera guys. I'm sure that Mike and Lewis will be absolutely loving it, getting some of the shots they're going to be getting over the course of this race. There you see the humongous engine in Andrei Kurzim. And we go very quickly back to Christina once more.
Yes, thank you very much, because we got good news. Stefan Faas is in his truck and is on the grid. Of course, the position is not the best, but the team effort was so big. How proud of you are you of your boys and girls there?
Ja, ich bin sehr stolz drauf, so ein Team zu haben, weil das ist natürlich absoluter Hammer, was wir jetzt geschafft haben in den, sage ich mal, 1,5 Tage. Ja. Wir haben heute noch die Kupplung gewechselt und jetzt gucken wir mal, ob das alles so funktioniert. Es gab da immer wieder hin und wieder Problemchen, aber ich hoffe, wir haben es im Griff. Das sehen wir.
So he says he's very proud of his team. Of course, they put all effort in to get the truck back on track, and they changed the clutch, and they got small issues still, but hoping to compete here. So did you get a bit of sleep? Hast du ein bisschen geschlafen?
Nein, ich habe nicht mehr geschlafen. Heute Mittag wie gesagt, ich war voll dabei, habe das Getriebe mit selber rausgemacht. Der Sascha hat uns noch geholfen und von ihm das Team hat auch noch mit hingelangt. Haben wir wirklich in 45 Minuten die Kupplung ausgewechselt. Also war mega. Vielen Dank auch an die Jungs. Das war echt super. Mega.
Vielen Dank. Good luck. So he said, I didn't get much sleep. He was sleeping 2 hours yesterday night, and they were working really together and really close. And he said massive thanks to the team and to Sascha Lenz. They were helping hands too, so they were able to change the clutch in 45 minutes. This is kind of a record, and it was all because of the help of Sascha Lenz as well. So one truck family, not just a hashtag, it's true life.
Yeah, it really is, and it's great to see all of the teams really helping each other throughout these scenarios. We saw in some of the pictures that were posted on social media as well, I think there was a number of T-Sport Benau members in their garage as well helping out, and they lent a crane from another team to get the engine out just so they could access everything inside there, and it was just brilliant to see. And as I said earlier, anything is big in the FIA European Truck Racing Championship, even the repair jobs. They are massive things to work on. There's some of the wonderful scenery here. It's a great circuit to be at. You can see so much of it from so many different places. And look at this. We're going to get one of our very first sunset races here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Now, I mentioned earlier, slightly anyway, I sort of hinted at endurance racing. Now, over the last week or so, even the last couple of days, the FIA and the ETRC have passed a sort of feasibility study on whether trucks can go endurance racing. Now, there's nothing set in stone yet, but hopefully in the future we will see events with these trucks and trucks from other championships all over the world, from maybe the Dutch, French or even British truck racing championships, that can come together and take part in a really big event, maybe 6, 12 or even 24 hours of racing in these machines. It would be absolutely amazing, in my opinion, to see that come together and see everybody really enjoy themselves in a huge event, because these events alone, these race meetings, are fantastic to watch. Great fun to be a part of as well. There's so much camaraderie and positive vibes going around the paddock. If we could get an endurance race together and maybe have one every year, it would be an absolute dream in my eyes. There is our gorgeous Iveco S-Way Pace Truck, bio-LNG powered Iveco S-Way, with, I'm sure, Frank the Tank at the wheel very shortly. There's Rolf Werner on the right-hand side of your shot as well, one of the big bosses here in the ETRC. And there you get a reminder on the right-hand side of all of the sustainable fuels that we use in this championship, not just shaping the way for the motorsport side of things, but the trucking industry as well. And the bio-LNG tanks on the side of the Iveco, certainly dominant of the sort of aesthetic of this truck, but it means that it is a very clean, mean machine. Adam Lachko there on the left of your shot will start alongside Jochen Hahn. Those two will be on row 3. Both of them previous champions of the FIA ETRC. Jochen Hahn winning it 6 times to the 1 title of Adam Lachko. That will feel like a long time ago for him right now. He won it back in 2017, 5 years ago. Jochen Hahn has won it in 2011, 12, 13, 16, 18 and 19. And 2021 was the first time he's finished lower than third in the championship for 10 years. Now we start our inspection lap for our beautiful Ford F-Max, the International Truck of the Year in 2019. We've certainly given this truck some fantastic showtime on the broadcast. It's great to see it on our screens once again. And I can tell you, it's a very potent machine as well. It's really, really good fun to be a passenger in this truck. We have Lucas at the wheel of this Ford this weekend. And him and his partner will just make sure that they inspect the circuit, see what's what, and just make sure there's no debris, nothing dangerous or anything that could affect the race in any way. This isn't just a parade lap for this truck, it is also to make sure that the safety of the circuit is of the highest priority for our drivers and for our teams. They're just coming up into turn 4 now. This very important left kink, which sets you up for the long right-hander at turn 5 that follows very shortly after. You can see the body of this truck leaning and leaning, much more than our race trucks do. You know, the race trucks are a lot lower to the ground. They have a lower centre of gravity. They're a lot more stiff in the way that they're set up. Obviously set up in the way of making sure they've got as much grip as possible and that they handle as best they can. Because let's face it, trucks are not known for being the most agile of things in the usual roads that you and I both drive on, or all drive on, I should say. But isn't that a beautiful shot? In this lighting as well, the metallic blue on the Ford looking absolutely marvellous. It's a great piece of kit to have as part of the championship. And they are completing the lap just now with a few more corners to go. He'll go through the left-hander at turn 10 and then turn 11, which is the very fast long right-hander leading down to the tight right at turn 12. This has been a prime overtaking opportunity in the past in these final couple of corners. But it can get very, very dicey indeed when you have drivers trying to come down the inside into here, running wide on the exit, and then maybe having contact into the final couple of corners. Because it's so hard to keep the truck under wraps and keep it under control in this latter section. But you can really see how low the sun is getting now and how long the shadows are getting. There is also a lot of rain on the horizon as well, as Christina rightly mentioned earlier. A lot of very dark grey clouds over the horizon, so hopefully we do not see the race affected by any rain. But it's going to be interesting to see if any of the drivers struggle with the sunlight that we're going to have here this evening. It's currently 2 minutes to 7 local time. It's still 26 degrees here in Hungary at Budapest. And the Hungaroring has been a fantastic location to be this weekend. It's great to finally be here. I've wanted to come here since I was a kid, to be honest with you, and to be working here with a series like the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship is a dream come true. So our cameraman is ushered off the grid. I believe it's Lewis. He is told that now it's time to get this race underway. The sun piercing through the barriers and the catch fences there. And there we have Frank the Tank waiting in the Iveco S-Way Pace truck. The lights are on, and in just a moment he will pull away and we will get this entire field ready to go. Martin Gibson will line up at the back of the grid with Stefan Faas. I didn't have him on my grid sheet for some reason, but that may be just because Stefan didn't start the first race. But there you go, there's your view. Steffi Halm starting on row 2 on the inside of the circuit, very importantly. She'll be alongside Antonio Albacete. Here's a quick run through of your grid then. Andrei Kurzim, pole position after finishing the race in just over 26 minutes. Shane Brereton will start alongside him on the front row. Then we have Steffi Halm in third position. She starts on the second row of the grid with Antonio Albacete. Row 3, well, it's truck 55 in P5, Adam Lachko. And he is alongside 6-time champion in position number 6, Jochen Hahn. Sascha Lenz will start in 7th place alongside race 1 winner Norbert Kish. And then behind them, on the 5th row of the grid, we have Jamie Anderson, and we also have Anthony Janiek. 11th position is Theo Calve. He was obviously upset about the result in the first race after what went on, but hopefully we can see him climbing back up the order. Alongside him on row 6 is Heinrich Clemens Hecker. 13th place will be Martin Gibson in the ex-René Reiner truck. René is here this weekend, but unfortunately due to a shoulder injury will not be racing this afternoon. And then at the back of the grid, after the engine and gearbox change, we have Stefan Fass. The field makes their way up to turn 4 then in this beautiful lighting here. You'll see it glinting off the front of all of our trucks. It certainly is a sight to behold, isn't it? To see these huge machines making their way around. Our marshals there doing a fantastic job as well. It's great to see all the marshals out. We must thank them because the conditions have not been easy at all with the temperatures they've had to endure this weekend. But Shane Brereton, well, he knows it's going to be difficult to start this one on the front row of the grid. Because he's going to be on the outside going into turn 1. So he's going to have to try and defend as best as he can from Steffi Halm. Because she's going to try her very best to get up the inside at any given opportunity. Andrei Kurzim, though, he's got all the pressure on him. He said it himself that the race pace isn't quite there at this race meeting. So I'm sure he's going to be hoping to try and just keep it together, keep his cool in this one. And try and get a result and strong points for the championship. That's what these reverse grids do, really, is they promote some brilliant racing as well as a fantastic, fantastic just opportunity for these drivers to get some good points on the board. It keeps the championship nice and close together in the long run. So the whole field makes its way around turn 13 now then. The Iveco S-Way pace truck makes its way into the pit lane. And Andrei Kurzim is left with the task of getting this race started. You can see Shane Brereton very, very close as well. He's going to be trying to keep him to the inside there to cover off Steffi Halm as quickly as he can. But the 6th race of the season in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship is underway. And look at that, Jochen Hahn in the middle of that gap there between Antonio Albacete and Adam Lachko. They're 3 wide in the middle. Norbert Kish has got a fantastic view of it. He's got Sascha Lenz in front. There's bits and pieces and liquid flying off the trucks already. Now, is that rain? Is that rain coming down, or is that liquid from one of the trucks in front? There's a humongous lock-up, plenty of smoke. I think somebody's gone straight on. Has anybody gone around? There's contact. Everybody's run wide off the exit. Andrei Kurzim's been absolutely freight-trained. Oh, massive contact. That's Norbert Kish, and he's gone into the side of Albacete. Kurzim's in the barrier as well. Big contact, and now Brereton's down the inside of Lachko. He tips into him, and now he's been hit by Sascha Lenz. Unbelievable scenes. The sun completely engulfing the cloud of smoke. Whole field completely sideways. And Theo Calve, where's he come from? Theo Calve from 11th on the grid into the race lead. Now, not Sascha Lenz. Oh, he's around. He's around. Lachko's into the side of him. Norbert Kish is on his side. Norbert Kish is off and in the barrier. That's a massive shunt. Absolutely humongous contact. And there's trucks in the middle of the road. Theo Calve made it through. Antonio Albacete is completely stopped at turn 2. Norbert Kish's truck has taken a humongous hit, and understandably, red flag is out. And wow, oh wow, I've never seen a start to a race like that in my life. Unbelievable. It all started when everybody ran wide on the exit of turn 1. The whole field bunched up. And then all of the drivers trying to come back on were greeted by drivers that were already 3 wide. Jochen Hahn's had a huge hit as well. He's up at the side of the road. There's loads of fluid coming out of Norby's truck. So Teo, I think, has turned in on Adam Lachko there, and he's hit Norbert Kish. He's hit the end of that barrier and then the tyre wall, and it goes up in the air, almost completely on its side. Jamie Anderson takes off a piece off the top of the cab of Norby's truck, and then Teo ends up facing the right way again, but with nothing left. Look at the damage on Norbert Kish's truck. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. What's left of Albacetti's truck is dragged back to the pits as well. Wow. Well, it's good to see that the trucks are... I mean, I told you in the first race how tough these things are, but my... that is unbelievable. Great to see that. I mean, the drivers are obviously okay to carry on. The drivers are very high up and very safe in these cabs. You know, they're incredibly rigid. But Antonio is, well, I mean, it's safe to say he's doing an amazing job to get that thing back. I mean, it's been hit by every single corner. So it looked like Norbert Kish was the one in the middle of the road. He received contact on the right-hand side. That threw him left into Albacetti. Andrei Kurzin was already there. They bounced off the barrier. Lachko tried to defend from Lachko tried to defend from Brereton into turn 2. That put Lachko sideways. Teo Calve came down the inside, and then he was on the outside for turn 3. It looked to me like he just turned across the front of Lachko, and that put him sideways in front of the pack. Everybody tried to avoid him, and then the contact between these two that we see here is what put Norby in the wall. An unbelievably dramatic start to the race. And if I'm honest with you, the feeling in the paddock was that it was going to be a late night here at the Hungaroring. And something just tells me now that it's going to be an even later one for these teams. I do not envy them now with the state of these. Look at Antonio's truck. That's a very sorry sight, isn't it? Wow. I mean, you have to give him credit where credit's due. The determination to get that thing back. The tyre, luckily, is staying underneath the rim, and it's not actually sort of scraping the rim into the floor. But that's just... it's like something out of a horror film, isn't it? Well, if you've ever wondered how tough these trucks are, ladies and gentlemen, you've just had a prime example there. You saw the massive shunt that Norbert Kish had, and the fact that he's still driven that truck back is an absolute miracle. But look at the damage to the roof. That's unbelievable. It was completely on its side. And Jamie Anderson tried to avoid him and drive down the side. And, well, he just clipped the roof of the truck. I've never seen a truck hit the roof of another truck. That's unbelievable. I know I've used that word a lot already, but honestly, I don't have many other words, much else to say, to be honest with you. The marshals will now inspect the circuit, check what's going on, and Norbert Kish, understandably very unhappy with what's gone on. He's straight inside, straight up to race control. And you can understand the frustration. I mean, it was a colossal impact. He's lucky to have made it back to the pits with what was left of that truck. The cleanup operation begins. But I don't think there was a single truck in all of that came away with all of its body panels still on. Antonio's still dragging what's left of that truck around. I really feel for the T-Sport Bernau guys. I know how much that's going to set them back this weekend in terms of the hard work that they do to make that truck so presentable. But here we go then. So here's a look. So Kurzim comes back on. He hits Albacetti, but there was another truck between them. I think it was Jochen Hahn, and him and Norbert Kish both go across the front. Lachko defends from Brereton. He then gets put straight on as he locks up, trying to avoid it. Hits Sasha Lenz. Teo Calve's down the inside of everybody, Jamie Anderson included. Now look at Teo. He turns across the front. Lachko's lost it. He hits the side of his teammate. Then Jamie Anderson goes sideways. They both pile into Norbert Kish. He goes up into the barrier. Wow, that is a monstrous accident. How does Lachko avoid Calve there? I mean, I can understand Norby's frustration, but I don't think there was anything Anderson or him could do there. Janiak, I'd say, is probably the only truck to come out completely unscathed from all of that. But I've never seen anything like that. I mean, you can see contact and accidents like this in the likes of touring car racing, maybe, but to see trucks get hit around like that is just, it's scary, isn't it? Very scary, but again, shows you just how safe these machines are, that all of them were able to make it back to the pits under their own power, but there's body parts and everything all over the circuit. Now, I wonder whether we will actually get this race back underway with the damage that's been done, to be honest with you. We didn't see Sasha Lenz's truck continue. I think he was still down there at turn 2, or maybe he got going again. But it looked like as Brayton came back on from the outside, or Kurzim came back on, sorry, he hit the side of Antonio Alberthetti. He was 3 wide with Norbert Kish and Jochen Hahn. The two of them sandwiched together, and look at the roof of that truck. Unbelievable. Anyway, Christina is down there for us to report on things from a little bit more up close. What do you see, Christina?
I'm here with Theo Calvé, and this has been a massive shock for us. I hope you're all right. How do you feel after this massive crash, and what happened? It was really everyone kind of locking in each other, and you turned.
Honestly, I don't really know what happened. I did an amazing start in the front. They went all out. I took the inside. I was like 4th or 5th. After they hit each other, 33 hit Adam, I saw, and I had the space to go inside. I was first in 2 corners. I started in 11th position, and after on the fast right, I was alone. I was in the front, and I don't know from where a truck came and pushed my back. And the first time I saw on the between the first and second corner, I saw first time Kiss with 2 wheels. It was fuck. I thought I will take everything, but I avoid first time. But the second time I was first in front of everybody, and this was a really scary moment. I saw Kiss nearly on the side. It was totally disaster, and I don't know, I think 33 hit me in the back, and of course I cried, but I was first and I had the space. But wow, it was dirty one.
Yeah, to be honest with you, we were quite shocked as well. As you can see, the truck of Norbert Kish there, the roof is up, and your truck has a lot of damage too. Red flag, of course. How do you deal with the situation right now? Whom do you talk to calm down a bit? That's important for you drivers too. It must be really a tough situation.
Yeah, honestly, I try to calm down, because it was a little bit. I already see the dead in front of me. Yeah? Because when you have 10 trucks in front of you and you cannot do anything, it was a really scary moment. So I will try to calm down, and I will go to see Norbert if he's okay. But
yeah, he's okay. He's at race control right now. He's directly. I saw him walking out of his truck. Thank you very much for talking to us. Maybe it helps a bit too, giving us an inside perspective. So, Chaz, as you can see, we are really, really shocked right now. Good news. I think everyone is kind of fine. The drivers talking to each other here. Huge family. Thank you, Theo Calvé. And let's have a look at, zip tires is the only thing they can do right now to fix up the trucks. But the important thing is right now, safety. Seems to me that everyone is all right. We will have a closer look at all the drivers and, of course, all the trucks right now. So back to you, Chaz.
Yeah, thank you very much, Christina. And I mean, I should apologise for the language from Theo Calvé, but I think it's more than justified, don't you? Wow, incredible scenes here at the Hungaroring. Everybody is completely on lockdown now to get the circuit cleaned up, see what we can do about maybe salvaging a race out of this. But I think with the amount of trucks that we would have lost to completely race-ending damage, broken wheels, burst tyres, bodywork everywhere. I mean, you saw the front of Norbert Kish's truck as well as the top. The actual bull bar itself, the structural bar in the front of the truck was completely bent down to the ground. Now, those bars are ridiculously strong. We have seen trucks completely latched together using those bars before, and they've got away with it, and they haven't even bent that bar. He's had that much of a hit that it's completely ripped it to shreds. I'm not even sure what that Marshall was carrying there, but it was a humongous piece of one of these trucks. And it's just great to see that everybody's okay. So Lachko, he loses it into the side of Theo Calvé. I think Theo thought the number 33 of Jamie Anderson had hit him. Jamie tried to get out of the way to the right, And then, of course, Norbert tried to go through the gap as well. They both mounted the barrier. And you'll see that Jamie, watch the black and blue truck as he comes back from under the banner. He hits the roof of Norbert's machine as they come together. Absolutely crazy scenes. And then, of course, Antonio Alberthetti with damage on every corner to his MAN. Look at what's left. And there, look at the bull bar at the front of that. Now, that is supposed to be an entire solid bar all the way across the front, and it split the bar even and ripped it in half. Not to mention the gallons and gallons of fluid that's getting poured down onto the circuit by Norbert Kish. And, well, to be honest, it doesn't matter if you make the chicane or not right now, mate, as long as you're all okay. That was a very, very scary thing to see, but again, a testimony to the safety here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, that all drivers and all of the trucks are still, I mean, drivable in the first place is just incredible. Absolutely incredible. There's not many more words about it, really, that I could come out with, other than I'm just glad everyone's okay. There is the sort of impact mark from Norbert Kish as he went up and over the barrier. And you can see the barrier on the right-hand side as well, where he just clipped the end of it there, just on that orange bit. You can see the tyre marks on the ground. And you can see, again, the tyre marks as they all went over to the right-hand side. A very, very scary shunt. But in the defence of everybody there, you know, when you're all drivers trying to avoid situations, maybe capitalise on them, everybody can spread out as pure instinct. You know, you don't often have time to check if there's another truck next to you or if there's anybody else behind you that could maybe get caught out by hard braking or anything. You know, there was smoke everywhere. There wasn't many places for anybody to go, really, especially with the contact down into turns 2 and 3. Shane Brereton down the inside of Latchko. Latchko closed the door, admittedly, I must say, but Shane was then locking up hard on the brakes and went straight on, and then caught the front of Sasha Lenz as well. And then it just snowballed even more from there. Now, one thing we didn't see was actually the very first corner, how everybody made it into there and how they all ran off wide on the exit, because there was a big lock-up somewhere. I think Andrei Kurzim may be locked up, but as I mentioned just before it all kicked off, there was some sort of fluid in the air as well coming from one of the trucks in front, so I'm not sure if somebody had a problem, but there is the Revesh Racing team looking at the back end of the truck, at least. Obviously, that's where all of the main mechanical parts go with the engine and all the suspension. Look at that on Jamie Anderson's truck. The windscreen smashed in, the whole frame on the right-hand side there. The A-pillar, as we call it, completely bent in. The door hanging off as well. Luckily, all of the sort of safety structures and everything is held firm. And that must be a very tough wing mirror, to be honest with you, if that's survived the ordeal. But again, just shows you how tough they all are. And I know how tough all the drivers are in this paddock as well. You know, they'll come away with that with a lot of shock. It's certainly difficult to calm down from as a driver. There will be a lot of shock circulating through them. But we know that all of these drivers will come back from that, and they'll be, if anything, more fired up to try and get results from what they can. Zip ties are being used, of course, one of the main tools in motorsport to make sure everything is as it is. But the aerodynamics on these trucks, not really that badly affected by contact every so often. You will see a lot of these trucks running without the sort of front corners on them after contact a couple of times. We saw a lot of it in race 1. Even the drills coming out now as well to get some holes in the front of the Bagheera racing machine. That's Teo Calve's truck. Looks like whatever track inspection is going on is nearly finished, as we're back with Christina.
I'm in front of Jamie Anderson's truck, and you can see the damage over here. Not only the window is broken, also the door, and this is a security problem, of course. The technical stewards, they were here, and everyone looking at the door saying, sorry, boy, you need to fix it. But the technical stuff told me that it was not so easy fixing that. So if the race continues, he might retire because that's a damage that's not be solved. Let's try and talk to Jamie. Come on. So, Jamie, just a quick, could you continue with that, or is...
For sure, we felt that we could continue with it. It's not a problem at all, you know, but they've made the decision now that we can't continue, and that's the thing.
Is it because of the door? It's not changeable, or what is the reason for you to...
It's two things, is the door and is the sidebar. But you know, it's crazy.
I hope you're all right mentally, of course, because this has been a shock and a huge crash. I've never seen that like this before. What do you say about those moments?
Yeah, for me, the crash was okay, and I'm mentally okay now. You know, this is racing, and this happens. Maybe some of the decisions that was made on track from the other drivers, it made this a big problem, you know, and it did not need to be like this. But they want to move, and then they want to win the race in the first 3 corners. It's not possible. They should have relaxed and settled down, but we got caught up in it, and now there's a lot of people with problems.
Yeah, it was like a domino chain falling down.
Yeah, definitely, you know, and as soon as we got hit by, we hit Tio, we had nowhere to go, and obviously this went on to hit Norby, and obviously hopefully Norby's okay. But, you know I had a big impact with Norby because of the impact I had with Tio.
I saw him there standing, so he's physically okay, but of course mentally, this is why I was asking you, because for you drivers, that's a different situation. For us spectators, it was a humongous crash, and for you as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know, when you put the race suit on and you put the helmet on, you have a responsibility, and sometimes this happens. You know, we haven't seen a big crash like this since Arama in 2019. So there's not many big crashes like this, but when it goes wrong, it goes horribly wrong.
Yeah, it goes horribly wrong today. So let's have a look at the sidebar here. This is what Jamie Anderson is referring to as well. The door is correct, the sidebar is correct, but luckily, due to all the safety, preparations, they all do very, very well. Nobody is hurt.
Yeah, and that's good to see. And, you know, level-headed words there from Jamie Anderson. He says it how it is, and you have to respect that, really. It's not an easy thing to come out of the truck like that and even just have an interview. You know, the shock that can run through your system from stuff like that. It can't be an easy situation at all to deal with. Now, let's have a look at the very start of the race. So, Steffi Halm is behind Andre Kurzim there. There's a bit of a touch maybe between Andre and Shane. I think there was just one big push all the way through the field, everybody pushing everyone. Kurzim's completely sideways. Now watch the yellow and white truck on the left. So Brereton goes around him. Kish is 5 wide with Anderson and Hahn. Kish's back end of the truck comes up off the ground. Then there's yet again more contact. That spits him to the left-hand side. So it was Anderson, Hahn, Kish, Kurzim and Alberthetti that were 5 wide. Brereton looks down the inside of Lachko. He closes the door. He then runs across the front of Sasha Lenz. They both manage to continue. Lachko loses it on the grass there on the way into turn 3. Runs wide, hits Calve. And then Calve gets hit by Anderson, who tries to avoid him. Anderson hits Norby. Norby goes up on the barriers. That's the biggest shunt of all. And then somehow they make it through. I mean, these are incredible scenes, but the main thing is that they're all okay. Obviously very frustrated and not looking forward to a long night of repairs, I imagine, but it is good to see that everyone was all right. I mean, we thought that maybe a large accident at the Hungaroring was not a possibility after what we saw with Stefan Fast last year. His brake failure into turn 2 was a very scary moment, but to see a truck in this shape like Norbert is right now with that roof completely hanging up, it's just a real shame to see. And the team will now look over everything and decide exactly what they can do. There's a few team members actually behind the garages next to where I'm based right now, actually. They're having a discussion over what they can possibly do, and obviously they'll make a plan in how to repair the truck and what needs to be done, but I feel it's going to be a very long night for these teams. And back to Christina, who I believe has got Norbert Kish, actually.
Yeah, I've got the chief mechanic, Chaba, with me, so wow, that was a huge crash. Your feelings, I could see a bit swearing, I must admit, but of course, because of the shock. How do you deal as a team with that situation?
Well, of course, I say sorry for my swear words, because you were right, there were a few of them. So yeah, it was a quite emotional moment for us, as all we can see the result of it. Well, it will be a long night for the team, but yeah, we try to do our best to be on the grid tomorrow.
Have you ever seen the roof crashed like this before?
Well, to be fair, not only that one bothers me. That the biggest problem is that a lot of subsystems are touched. So front suspension, rear suspension, cabin. steering, engine. So there are a lot of things to touch. We need to do a lot of repairs on the night. So yeah, we will see if we can do it or not.
Thank you very much. So let's have a walk right out here. Mike, please follow me. Norbert, are you ready for some words? A tough. Yeah. Tough situation for everyone. I'm glad you're standing in front of me.
I'm very, very disappointed with the field and everybody. The driving standards are crap. What was this? After turn 1 already. The front of the field completely was outside in the runoff area. And if you are coming back from the runoff area, you have to take extra care. And what are they doing? We are coming on the circuit normally because we brake in time and we don't hit each other and we keep it on the track. And people like coming back from the tire wall like crazy and crashing into the people who are driving on the circuit. It's completely against the regulations and it's crap driving standards. It's people who are driving like crazy. And then after...
I just want to calm you a bit down in this situation because nobody does it. I know, and nobody does it up.
It doesn't matter. It was not a race. It was even a shame for track racing. These driving standards that you could see in this half a lap. It was a shame for track racing and all the drivers who was in the front of the field. It was a shame. And look at my truck. And I was backing out of everything and they still crashed me.
And you seem to be, of course, in shock. I had never seen a truck like this before. How can you deal and cope with the situation with your team? And of course, Shaba told me it's not the roof, it's everything's like you need to repair and it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, the front springs are broken, the rear springs are broken. And, the cabins, the dampers, everything. And we have to check everything when something like this happens. So I'm not sure it's possible to fix in one night. So I'm not sure we can do the race tomorrow, but I'm still very, very disappointed in the driving. What was shown today, it's a shame for track racing. It's disappointing.
Are you disappointed because it's your hometown as well? That makes maybe a little bit of extra emotion there.
Yeah, of course. It's our home race. It's very important for us to do well, but not important to take some risk like what people took in this race. And wherever it happens. Any race circuit, it's a shame. I think it was very, very disappointing.
Thank you very much, Norbert. Please be safe this night. And as you can see, of course, he's really disappointed. Please count that in, dear spectators. But of course, lots of people need to talk about this. And we will do, because we are honest, an honest family, and an honest family, you talk to each other. But of course, this team right now is really devastated.
Yeah, and completely understandable there. Obviously, we do need to apologise on Norby's language, but like I say with Teo Calve as well, it's completely justified. Norbert's here racing at his home circuit. It's a circuit that's being represented here very well by truck racing, and we love this event. And you can completely feel that emotion. It's a very, very angering and upsetting time for Norbert and the team. Everyone will be disappointed in their own way with the driving standards that were shown there. Everybody will have their own opinion on the risks that were taken and exactly how everybody went about it. But we actually have onboard footage from Norbert Kish, apparently, which we will take a look at in just a moment, just to see how it all unfolded from his point of view. So this is Martin Gibson, actually. You'll see just as the trucks all come on there, everybody is 5 wide. Kish gets hit in the left rear. Jochen Hahn is in the middle of all that. Alberthetti and Kursim go off on the left-hand side. Norbert rejoins. And there you see Anderson and Calve sideways. Lachko goes sideways, loses it, hits Calve. Calve then loses it. Anderson tries to get out of it as well, and Norbert tries to avoid it as well, hits the barrier. And I mean, talk about commitment. He still holds on to the gear stick and the wheel as well, and his first reaction is to just get it back in gear and get it going again. So, completely committed throughout all of that, but it's just good to see that he's okay. And like I said, you can completely understand the frustration there. It's not a nice situation for any of these teams to be in, because they have to consider that we have 2 races tomorrow as well that they need to get these trucks prepared for, and if they're not completely fighting fit, then, well, what can they do? I mean, look at the anger from Norbert Kish. Very raw, in-the-moment emotion, though. And, well, if you don't see drivers like that in the moment, then you know that the passion is not there. And that's what it all stems from at the end of the day. But as we wait now with bated breath to see whether we will get the race underway, and, well, I say with bated breath, it looks like we have a couple of the trucks back out. So we've got Adam Lachko, Anthony Janiek, Andrei Kurzim, our original pole sitter, Shane Brayton. Unbelievably, the two trucks on the front row that ended up right in the thick of it, back out on track. We have Sasha Lenz with a little bit of bodywork missing on the front left. Martin Gibson back out there as well. It's a good opportunity for Martin to score some points this weekend, to salvage something. He was telling me earlier that he's been struggling so far. He told me that he had a bit of background information for me, actually, before I commentated on him again, and he said that this summer he's been doing his decking. That's all he told me. He's been doing a bit of gardening and he's been sorting his decking out. But still, we have some trucks on track, but I wonder how this will still go ahead, and, well, how much of a race we will get from it. I mean, we've got Teo Calve back out there, which is good to see. Teo able to get back out. And are you joking? Is that Antonio Alberthetti going back out? Steffi Halm back out on track as well. I thought the Hyundai Veloster in the background was going to join us there, but out of all trucks to go back out on track, I thought Antonio Alberthetti was completely done for the day. You all saw the state of that truck, right? You all saw the state of that truck a few minutes ago, didn't you? I wasn't dreaming, was I? Unbelievable stuff to see that truck is still drivable and they've managed to repair it. Credit to the T-Sport Bernal boys. I may be slightly biased because they're a team from the UK and I give them a lot of credit, but honestly, that's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, I wonder whether we will run a reduced length of this race. We'll have to wait and see for official messages to come through. We've been told that the formation lap will start at 10 to 8 local time. So in about 18 minutes' time, we will have a formation lap. Christina is back down there for us once again, up close with everything that's going on.
Been talking about T-Sport Brno, Chas, and I've got here Tim Frost. Obviously, the truck was not really right from Antonio Alberthetti. What is wrong? Do you think he can compete?
So in the actual collision, we had front tyre gone, rear tyre and rear wheel damage. The axle has moved, engine has moved. The dampers are okay, the brakes are okay. We will try to compete. So the outlap now we'll use as a safety just to control there's no knocks and bangs. Luckily we have a small but good team, so we won't sleep tonight, but it's why I love truck racing. It's the best part from my side. Okay, the damage is on our side and Norby's, but it's the adrenaline is crazy, so we keep fighting, and yeah, if we can pick up some points against some of our rivals, it's an advantage. So yeah, we're in to win, so yeah, we keep going.
That's really interesting to hear that from you. Of course, we spoke to Norbert Kisch and the team. They were really disappointed, of course, also because the situation he was in felt much more dangerous than maybe the situation Antonio was in. And Antonio, he was celebrating 500 races this weekend. Of course, lots of experience, as you said. Is there then, he's a calm driver, he can cope with the situation?
He's a legend. He can switch off now. But on the start, he said the driving standards was unbelievable. And he says the guys out there, I don't know, we have too big of a break this afternoon and they sleep too much, but something, well, for truck racing it's not correct, but you know, it's life, it's racing, and one collision snowballed onto everything else, and you think it's over, and then someone at the front, there's another collision, so yeah. We have years of experience, Antonio also, so from this side, if he says it's not safe to continue, I am happy for him to say so.
As you said, it was Glenn snowball. I mean, it was just a domino effect. So have you seen this effect before?
Yeah, many times. So one time at 2019 at Zolder was a big crash. Also in Most with Frankie Wojciech was a big crash. So you just need to, first of all, from an engineer's point of view, we need to make it safe. So if we see that there is a dangerous point on the vehicle, we will say enough is enough. And this is why we make the outlap as a paced outlap. and we use Antonio's experience to say if it's safe or not. So.
Thank you very much, Tim Frost. He's here right now. You can go onto the grid. We will as well. As you can see, it's really interesting to cope with the situation, of course. Team Reves is completely devastated because they had no chance to drive this formation lap again and check anything because their truck is completely destroyed. The team at T-Sport Brno, yeah, they're really optimistic right now. And Chaz, we are going to see if they can compete.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible to see that truck is back out there on the grid. And I mean, like Tim said there, you know, it's the adrenaline. And I absolutely love Tim for that. You know, he's so passionate about the sport and everything that the team does. But he understands there, as we heard, that it's a part of the sport that, you know, these things happen sometimes. Motorsport doesn't always go to plan. Yes, there are accidents, but these fantastic teams have the capability to look after these trucks and to keep them running as best they can. And I mean, the effort that the team have put in just to get this truck back out on the grid for this race to be restarted, by the look of it, is just a miracle. Absolute miracle, and hats off to all of them as well. But to say that, I mean, if you go into any other level of motorsport and you say the axle has moved and the engine has moved, but we're going to give it a go, you know, anywhere but truck racing, that would be a complete, you know, there would be no way that truck would be back out. But it's incredible to think that the top four, as you see them there from our original grid, are the ones that made it through. It seems like we will not have back out Jochen Hahn, Norbert Kish and Jamie Anderson in this one. I think everybody else has made it back to the grid. And we've got another interview actually with Christina. Are you there with Steffi, do I see you with?
Yes, you're absolutely right, Steffi. Wow, that was really a massive. It was not one crash. It was, like a snowball. Tim Frost called it. How did you see the situation from your perspective?
You know, I had a good start, but I stuck behind Andre, and we were all very close. Adam was directly behind me, and I reduced a little bit speed before the first braking point. But Adam was so close that he also gave me a little hit in the back, but not bad. And I brake, we blocked because we touched, and then I think most of the trucks went the outside line, the wide line. I was more or less in the rear because most of the trucks passed me. And then it started, I don't know, I just saw Jochen and Andre and also Antonio flying somewhere. So I reduced the speed to look where they went so that I'm not crash into them. And then the next corner, another ones went out with Sasha, and then we go down the hill, and I saw just Norby flying, and I didn't know if he made a roll or whatever, and I said to the guys on the radio, I will slow down for sure, we will have a red flag, because too many trucks are damaged, and I think we should all calm a little bit down, because we all want to race and don't destroy the trucks and maybe ourselves, huh?
Absolutely, and this is the point here. Calm down right now after such a situation. How do you deal with it? I mean, you're a really an experienced driver.
Yeah, you know at the start all the trucks are together and very close together, and if somebody make a mistake, or if I think the truck went left but he went right, it's very quick that you have a little collision, but it reacts maybe the trucks behind you. So now we have a new start, so you try to come down and just make another good race.
We love to see another good race. Thank you very much, Steffi Hahn. Mike just followed me up here because T-Sport Brno team was here and he's now driving backwards there. So we'll have a look. Maybe Antonio Alberthetti decided not to compete. I want to show you just the picture of here because lots of empty spaces. This is not what we want to see in truck racing, and I hope next time we will see more trucks competing. But I hope we're going to see a race number 2, reversed grid. Means always lots of overtaking, but this time it was clearly too much.
Yeah, I've just had word actually that because of the damage to the rear axle, Antonio Alberthetti and the T-Sport Brno team have not been given permission to start the race. So the damage has unfortunately been deemed as unsafe for the truck to continue. You could see even Tim Frost catching a ride there into the back of the paddock. They've just come right past me on the way through, and it's incredible how that truck looks a lot straighter than it did when we last saw it going around the circuit. But understandably, no permission to start from those guys. And, you know, hats off to the scrutineers and for all of the officials and the stewards for making those calls, because it can't be easy to do that at all, you know, to tell drivers that they can't race. Jamie Anderson, one of those drivers, has just made his way past my commentary position as well. And I can imagine there's going to be a lot of very angry drivers and maybe a lot of tension in the paddock this evening. But great to catch up with Steffi Halm there. We see her again. And, well, I mean, that body language says it all. It's almost to say, what are we doing here? You know, it was crazy, crazy stuff to see. And, well, the main thing is everybody is okay. And there's another one of the safety protocols that we have here. And having a lot of motorsport series at the moment, I say at the moment, you know, it's a very important one, is to have the window net, the safety nets, just to make sure that even if there is the worst case eventuality of any of these trucks going sideways or on their side like we saw with Norbert Kish, you know, there's no sort of risk of the driver even just having an arm out of the window or something like that. You know, it's a great, great safety procedure. And Christina is back down there on the grid.
Yes, with Adam Lachko, and we talked about the safety net here. Of course, this is one, and it provides Adam from this microphone. No, just kidding. It was really a shocking situation for everyone right now. How do you deal with the situation right now mentally?
Yeah, it's very bad start. It's a 3-corner, 2 big crash. Norby have very destroyed the truck, Antonio also. And it's happened because it's the racing, but really it's not nice. Maybe it's funny for a spectator because see some action, but for us it's not really good. But now we must forget, clean the mind, and we must try the best what we know.
Whom do you talk to? With the team, of course, and what did you tell them about the situation? What could you see from your perspective?
I see only smoke, and somewhere I go after first corner. I'm on the first position with Apollo with number 17, and he pushed me a little bit. I'm drifting, and after we touch a little bit with Theo, and again it's Theo turning in front of me, and it's not good. It's not really nice. It's better forget and concentrate for a new start.
Absolutely. Did you speak to Theo as well? Team Bagura, of course, you're driving together, you're competing, but you're also driving together in a way.
Yeah, we are team colleague, and this is not possible happened. But it's the racing, it's very tough, and we must concentrate to the forward.
Okay, we do so as well. Thank you very much, Adam Lachko. So we concentrate and we focus on the good things on this sports, truck racing. And yes, we will have a look at the race right now. So a couple of minutes left, and then we will see fewer trucks on track than normally, but at least we do have a race.
Yes, definitely. And, you know, hats off to Adam Lachko there. You know, his approach to it was great. You know, he said it how it was. You know, it's not nice to see the standards like that. It's not nice to see drivers sort of turning across one another and making the contact and not showing much patience. But at the same time, you know, he's happy to focus forward. You need to put that incident in the back of your mind now. This is a fresh race, and this is a new start for the drivers that are still out there. And at the end of the day, while we do have some drivers that aren't taking part in this one, that's just racing sometimes. You know, that's how it can happen. So great to see Adam taking that approach. And I mean, he's always been a good guy like that. You know, he's one of the absolute best on the grid. And to be honest, I'm amazed to see Teo Calve back out there. He may not have had like the biggest contact or the biggest hit with anybody, but as he said, you know, it was an incredibly, incredibly scary moment that he had right where he got turned across the front of the field. That is just a racing driver's absolute nightmare to have those moments. And luckily he was able to get out of that situation. And while there may have been an incident involving Jamie Anderson and Norbert Kish, they both did an incredible job to avoid hitting Teo Calve very hard indeed at the speed that they were doing. So as you can see here, it's almost night time at the Hungaroring. There is a lot of shade cast by the grandstands and everything over the start-finish straight though. So it does look a lot darker than it actually is. You know, the sky is still quite bright. The sun is out on certain parts of the circuit. And I'm sure that the drivers will be hoping for a nice clean start to get Saturday done with. But we expected a late finish, and well, we've certainly got one now, that's safe to say. We thank you as well for all sticking with us during all of this, everywhere that you may be watching in the world. It's great to have you along with us to keep an eye on these races and watch all of the action unfold. I'm sure none of us expected that. Seems like a bad thing if you started on the left-hand side of the grid, doesn't it? Look at that. Shane Brayton is going to be pretty happy to have that big gap behind him now, but there is an absolute freight train of trucks, if that's what you call a gaggle of them, to go down the inside of him during these early stages. Again, he has to just try and make sure he keeps it tidy into turn one. Lachko and Lenz and Halm all have a lot of space on the left-hand side to move into from this start, so it's going to be interesting to see whether any of them utilise that. Obviously, slipstreaming is not something that you want to be doing in these races. You have to be very careful about overspeeding and, of course, the temperatures of your engines and the brakes and the water and everything, as the whole field now makes its way away from the line. 7:45 local time here. It's probably the latest I've ever commentated on a race that was supposed to start in the daytime. But still, we absolutely love it here in the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. A bit of drama is never amiss in motorsport. And here is our beautiful official pace truck, the Iveco S-Way, powered by Bio-LNG. Wonderful machine, absolutely wonderful machine. Great interior in that truck as well. Some of the seats are beautiful. Iveco do a great job at making their trucks as comfortable and as presentable as they can. And I'm very, very jealous that Frank gets to drive that beautiful machine so often. So you can see a number of the trucks have effectively their headlights on. A lot of the headlights that you see on the trucks here are either stickers or non-existent, but they do have these LEDs in the windscreen. It's a part of the truck that doesn't ever really receive much contact, so it's a safe place to have the lights, and of course it lights up quite a lot of the way in front of them. I'm intrigued to see when we do go endurance racing, as I'm sure we will at some point, how the lights are implemented and how bright they will be, because these drivers don't have sort of rear view mirrors in the middle of the cabs in these trucks. They have, of course, the little wing mirrors on the sides. You'd have to consider that the lights are at wing mirror level, so maybe glare from other drivers might be something to be discussed. But there is Andrei Kurzim. You can see the damage on his truck as well. The bodywork on the right-hand side is completely up on one side. It's on a very, very strange angle. But again, aerodynamics are not the utmost priority in these machines. Norbert Kish, fair play to him, giving his fans a wave. We saw him waving to his fans for a long time earlier on the podium as well, and he appreciates every single one of them. And he mentioned earlier about how emotional he got with the support that these fans give him, and it's great to see that. It's always a very heartwarming thing to see a driver enjoying their sort of home race meeting. And a massive amount of our drivers, of course, all of the German drivers, will be enjoying their home race meeting in about a month's time, actually. In the middle of July, we head to the Nürburgring for the German Truck Grand Prix, and well, you can probably hear the excitement in my voice right now. I am so excited to travel out to the Nürburgring for that one. It's going to be a fantastic week. It's going to be a long week, but it's going to be great fun. We go to the Slovakia ring, though. Before that, I will be commentating remotely for that one back at my home studio back in the UK, but still, I will be joining you for each of the races and, of course, the qualifying sessions as well. Don't forget, we have qualifying tomorrow morning, so some of the teams may not even make it out for that. They will probably aim to make it out for race one, and maybe some of our drivers will start from the back of the grid. So then, a clean slate, everybody. Let's scratch that mess off the record. And let's get ready for the second race of the weekend. Take two here at the Hungaroring in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We do not have Jochen Hahn. We do not have Norbert Kish. We do not have Antonio Alberthetti or Jamie Anderson. But we still have a pretty strong field of trucks to give us some great entertainment this evening. And round 6 of the 2022 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship gets underway, and what a start it is by Shane Brayton. The Promoters Cup champion of a few years ago takes the lead instantly off the line from Andrei Kurzim, And look at that, Adam Lachko has got in front of Steffi Halm. There is a slight overlap there, though. Steffi tries to put her nose down the inside, and this time everybody very tentative through turn 1. Looks like the whole field has made it through without contact. Lachko having to defend from René Reiner. Not René Reiner, apologies, that's Anthony Janiak, and René Reiner isn't even on the grid in his own truck. Kurzim down the inside of Lachko. Big lock up there from Teo Calve. You've got to wonder whether there's some damage still to that truck and it's not behaving. Oh, the front left tyre's gone down. There's a front left puncture on Teo Calve's truck. Clearly a result of maybe the earlier damage, unfortunately, and I think he's just understeered slightly into Stefan Faas. Stefan's truck certainly looked unsettled as, oh, Teo. That's absolutely gutting. Not what he would have wanted. Heinrich Clemens Hecker moving up the order, which is good to see. Steffi Halm looks quickly down the inside of Anthony Janiak there. Sasha Lenz in the middle of the field. He's going to be hoping to get some good points from this and make some progress through the field to try and stay with Norbert Kish in that championship fight. Truck 2 is P2 in the championship at the moment. He was P2 in the championship at the end of last season after just losing out in the final race meeting at Misano. But a nice tidy start by everybody. That's exactly what we'd like to see. And oh no, Teo. That's so upsetting to see Teo Calve retiring from the race this early on. I'm not sure if he had any contact in the opening corners that may have caused that. Maybe just long-term damage from earlier. Obviously the truck wasn't at race pace for quite a bit, so maybe the pressure's just completely dropped when he was trying to work the tyre hard. Kurzim moves out to the left of Shane Brereton, but he tries to move back and sees that Adam Lachko is there in the freight line of the Bagheera machine down the inside. Shoulder barge after shoulder barge. They run each other very close into turn 13. Nearly contact again. Adam gives just enough space to Andre there. Anthony Janiak tries to then get down the inside as well. Steffi Halm, I think, has been overtaken by Sasha Lenz. No, she's not actually. She runs into the back of Janiak, though, into the final corner. You can see the truck wiggle around there as there's contact. Sasha Lenz now on the outside, but there's nobody down his inside, so he can use that run. Look at the sunset here at the Hungaroring. I must admit, it's quite exciting to see sunset racing here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Sunset races are always a beautiful thing, but you can imagine as a driver right now, well, beautiful is not the word that you'd use to describe it. Janiak moves over to the right to defend from Halm. She remains in 5th position. Sasha Lenz just behind in 6th, waiting to just pick up any opportunity. Then it's the two Scanias just behind of Heinrich Clemens Hecker and Stefan Faas. As Sasha looks down the inside, but lets it run a bit wide, maybe gets a slingshot out of turn 2 as they go back down the hill. The whole field still stuck together at the moment, and that's the beauty of these reverse grid races. We get these drivers sort of cork in the bottle style, holding up a few others as some of the fastest drivers in the series try to make their way through the order. And you can see Sasha trying everything he can right now to find a way around Steffi Halm, but she in turn is getting held up a bit by Anthony Janiak in the number 66 machine. He's doing a good job of defending so far. Look how close Lachko is to the back of Andre Kurzim. Well, I've made the joke many a time that he's latched on as Lachko, but he's certainly got the tow hook out right now. And look at that again. Stefan Faas all over the back of his fellow Scania driver, Heinrich Clemens Hecker in the number 25. Martin Gibson just off the back of those two in René Reiner's truck. The number 77 machine just at the back of the field at the moment, but he's staying in touch. Here is on board with Stefan Faas, and look at that. All over the back of the number 25 in front, the Swedish flag adorning the rear of the truck there. The two Germans going head to head. Stefan is a little bit later on the brakes. Heinrich doesn't give him all the room in the world to get that done. Stefan has to concede as they go through turn 12. And then that little kink there is 12B into turn 13. Hard on the brakes. Try and get the truck balanced. Try and get that front end gripping before you get onto the power. But look at the top 6 now, all together as they come round the final corner. It's a beautiful sight. Look at that shot. That's absolutely stunning, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful conditions here at the Hungaroring after the drama we had earlier. Lachko's bodywork flapping down the straight, and look at them all spread out here. They are very conscious of temperatures here. It's been nearly 30 degrees all day, so they have to be very careful about overheating the trucks. And even in this low light condition where it's maybe a bit cooler than earlier. They're still being careful about it. Steffi Halm puts her nose down the inside of Janiek there, but it doesn't work. Now Sasha Lenz senses an opportunity, tries to get up the gears as quickly as possible, moves to the right-hand side. Steffi leaves room a little bit. Sasha is going to try this and maybe get a slingshot into turn 3. Now you'll see he'll take a late apex here. He'll try and dive back down the inside. Doesn't quite work though. These trucks are so big that the cutback doesn't often work. Shane Brereton with a bit of bodywork flapping around on the front left of his machine. Still holding on ahead of Andrei Kurzim. Now, let's not forget, Shane Brereton fighting in the Promoters' Cup. Now, there's a number of drivers that are classified in this championship as Chrome. There is Titan and Chrome. They are the two classes, and they are based on achievements from the drivers and finishing positions in the championship. Titan is basically like Class A. Chrome is basically Class B. The Chrome drivers fight for the Promoters' Cup. It was the Goodyear Cup last year, but with Goodyear becoming the title sponsor of the championship, that now becomes the Promoters' Cup, as it used to be known a long, long time ago. Lachko, though, with that bodywork flapping around, is still in touch with Andrei Kurzim, and it looks to me like Shane Brereton may be struggling a little bit at this point. They go through the long, long left-hander at turn 10, then the right at turn 11. Look at that, the two bumper bars absolutely pushed together on trucks 11 and 17. Kurzim certainly putting the pressure on in a very physical way right now on Shane Brereton, and he moves over to the left to try and get around him. Lachko is still there, though. Adam won't be too pleased with that one. Shane manages to block the pair of them from making a move, but look, Lachko knows now he's going to get frustrated by this, and he's thinking, I need to get past you, Mr. Kurzim. I want to try and have a go at taking this lead. Sasha Lenz still not able to get past Steffi Halm either. And we are going full distance in this race as well, by the way. We're going completely 11 laps round. But great entertainment already. Now this is 2 laps in the book. And Sasha Lenz now pulls out to the right-hand side, tries to cool the engine as much as possible. It's like a staggered grid formation, isn't it, all the way down? Now look at that, Lachko gradually moves over to the right-hand side, doesn't get down the inside of Kurzim this time round. They've still got Hecker and Faas just holding off in 7th and 8th position. Then it's Martin Gibson. Teo Calve has pulled over and retired from the race. I don't think he dragged the truck all the way back around into the pits. But while the drivers may not be too happy with racing in these conditions, I am absolutely loving watching it here. It looks brilliant, and it's great to see the reverse grid format working so well. The whole field's still very close together here. Great fighting throughout. Look how close Steffi Halm gets to that penalty marker there. Just brushes it with the left-hand side of her truck. Inch perfect round turn 3. Up through the kink at turn 4. Kurzim still trying to find a way around Shane Brereton. And Sasha Lenz still working hard here. He needs to get as many points as possible, while the likes of Norbert Kish and Jochen Hahn are not in the race. He needs to capitalise as best as he can here. You can see just how much these trucks move around and wobble their way through some of these corners and attack the curbs. Obviously, curbs not a problem at all in machines this big with tyres as thick as they are. And don't forget, those are tyres from Goodyear that, after they've been raced, they get retreaded and put onto road trucks as well. They get intended for road use. As through has gone Andrei Kurzim. Now, it must have been a bit of a boisterous move as, whoa, Lachko off the circuit, 3 wide into turn 12. Lachko sees an opportunity. Thank you very much, he says. I'm not sure what Andrei will think of that as he overtook him off the road, and now Adam says, here, now I've got past you, have this. It's like throwing a banana at him from Mario Kart, this. Whoa, Janiek, blinded by the bodywork, smashes into the back of Shane Brereton. Incredible stuff. But Lachko leads the race. Adam Lachko, 2017 champion, back at the front of proceedings. He's a driver that's won many races before. 56 race wins to his name after 395 starts. He's had 161 podiums in the championship. There is a look at how it happened. Kurzim very much getting the elbows out. And Lachko says, thank you very much. And, well, Kurzim ran him out of road, so it wasn't like Adam made all of the pass while he was off the road. Kurzim didn't give him anywhere to go, unfortunately. It was very elbows out stuff. But they all continue on. Now, Adam will be really, really chuffed with the fact he's leading, but he knows that the guys behind will try very hard indeed as Sasha Lenz throws the truck down the inside of turn 2 on Steffi Halm. Here's how it looks on board, and is there contact? Oh, they're so close to making contact. I think there might have been the tiniest bit of a kiss there. Now, I've got to remember that these were the two drivers that had a bit of a break before the race here behind the garages just next to me. They're very, very good friends, these two drivers, and they were chatting away and seemingly enjoying themselves before all of the inevitable action unfolded. I say inevitable. Of course, it wasn't inevitable, but we knew there was. We know now that it happened anyway. But those drivers couldn't see the future, as Lachko still waving back to Andrei Kurzin behind. The Don't Touch Racing driver certainly not living up to the team name, that's safe to say. Look at Lachko using all of the road and some more as well. They're all running along the edge of that curb, using the dust to maybe blind their opponents. All sorts of tactics being used, you could say. But Lachko breaking free now as he exits turn 10 and then into turn 11. Lenz has got a big crack in the bodywork on the right-hand side of his truck there. Didn't notice that earlier. That body panel somehow still attached. It hasn't been picked up by the wind yet as Janiek tries to go down the inside of Brereton and then moves over to the outside. Fantastic move from Anthony Janiek. Is Shane going to run him out of room? Not so much, but maybe. There's all of the rest of Adam Lachko's truck on the edge of the circuit. Janiek down the inside. Shane leaves, well, just about an MAN's width. But this is the elbows out racing that we love in this championship. It's not completely silly, it's just hard, close racing. These trucks can deal with a lot of contact, so these guys certainly getting their money's worth. Janiek and Brereton lean on each other around turn 14. You've got to love a bit of that. And now, side by side down the straight. Now, you won't see either of them really pull much of an advantage. These trucks are governed to 100 miles an hour, 160 kilometres an hour, so they get told off for overspeeding, so they need to be careful. Steffi Halm needs to be careful there in the slipstream of Shane Brereton. Of course, heating up the truck as well, but she wants to try and tuck it down the inside to get past Janiek, who has actually stuck well to the inside line as Sasha Lenz gets elbowed out wide by Steffi. Beautiful golden glow there as we look back up towards turn 1, and Janiek cuts back, goes down the inside. That's let the tyre down. I think that tyre is gone after that wheel-to-wheel contact. We'll have to see. Shane Brereton now on the outside of Sasha Lenz. He needs to try and defend that as best he can. Tries to do it without contact. There is contact. And you can see it pops Sasha Lenz out to the left-hand side. Okay condition, because it certainly took a hit. It looked like the wheel was buckled slightly. But it was a very nicely calculated move, I have to say, from Janiek. He was right behind Shane. Then he put his nose down the inside. Shane moved over just a little bit to try and cover it off, but I don't think he realised quite how close Janiek was to the left of him, as now down the inside into the chicane, Sasha Lenz throws it in and takes another place. He now moves up into 4th position, 2 places in 1 lap. He'll be happy with that. Brereton manages to hold on ahead of Steffi Halm, who celebrated her birthday just the other day. It's not quite the birthday present race weekend, though, for her at the moment. She started this race right near the front of the grid in 3rd position. She's now dropped down into 6th. After being caught up in some pretty tough fighting, it has to be said. Sasha Lenz just looking over to the right, filling Janiek's mirrors, just to make sure that he still knows he's there. Well, we have this quintet of trucks right now, as Stefan Faas has cleared Heinrich Clemens Hecker and moved forward very, very quickly to catch up with this train. But look how low the sun is getting here now at the Hungaroring. It's almost becoming an incredible distraction for the drivers. The moon is out as well, you can see there at the other side of the track. That's how late we are here. 8:05 local time. As back down the straight. That was a look back at the moment with Janiek and Brereton, and there it is again. More and more contact, and look, Steffi Halm backed out of it there really cleverly to make sure that she didn't get stuck in the middle in the sandwich that was Sasha Lenz and Shane Brereton. Nice move that by Sasha down the inside. Great respect from Shane Brereton to move over slightly and just give him the room to get that job done. And already Sasha Lenz has made his progress up to the back of Janiek. He says, well, I've seen you do this move, watch me do it as well. He backs out of it very last moment as Janiek goes to cover the line, gets the truck stopped very quickly. Shane Brereton, though, at the moment, the highest placed driver in the Promoters' Cup. So as long as he stays ahead of Stefan Fass, he will still get a Promoters' Cup victory from this race. Everybody continues on. And Sascha Lenz, I must say, he's looking confident about getting a podium. He's going to try the same move he did on Shane. No, backs out of it. Goes over to the left-hand side. Optimises his line through there. Janiak is much slower on the way in, though. You could see that Sascha gave him a bit of a push. Lachko now has nearly a 5-second lead at the front of this pack. Andrei Kurzim in second place. He's quite far clear of this Janiak and Lenz battle. But they still need to keep their eye on Shane Brereton and, of course, Steffi Halm behind them as well. Up through turn 10, through turn 11. Long, fast right-hander. Onto the power now. The run down to turn 12. Sascha Lenz is throwing everything at this race, isn't he? Look at the truck dancing on the brakes. He's caught the dust on the outside. Is he able to get it tucked in? No, he's not. And we've been told that the race will be stopped early. It's a decision by race control, so we're not exactly sure exactly when the race will be checkered flagged, but we will have to see. A quick reminder as well that all of our trucks are running on 100% renewable HVO diesel, so it's all clean fun in terms of the emissions anyway in this race. And it's part of the sustainability of this championship, and it continues to move forward in that way, committing to be carbon neutral by 2038 at the latest. And I really look forward to seeing the technological progression that we continue to make as a series. It's already an industry leader in the way that these trucks are all very clean and the emissions are completely toned down. As there is the big move from Sascha Lenz. Look at that. Throws it up the inside of Anthony Janiak. Lovely stuff in the golden sunshine here. He teased us with it last lap. He teased Anthony Janiak with it a couple of times, and now he's got it done. That is phenomenal driving by Sascha Lenz. You have to love that. I've noticed as well a lot of smoke coming from Andrei Kurzim's truck. I'm not sure if that's bodywork or not, but it seems to be a lot more than that, with the engine located right behind the cab where there's not really a lot of air pressure or any sort of clean air floating over it. It seems like it's getting caught up in that sort of vortex of wind behind it there, so maybe something engine related. I hope not for Andrei's sake. He needs some good points here from this race. Maybe it's just that mudguard that was on the back just catching the tyre, as sometimes they can not only flap up in the air, they can actually sort of do a 180 and catch parts of the engine and hang forward into almost into the back of the cab. They're a big piece of bodywork and very flexible, so if they do get caught in the wind, it can be a bit of a mess, to be honest with you. Well, here comes Adam Lachko. He's going to make his way down into turn 12. I believe this may become the last lap of the race with, well, look at the bodywork missing all over that thing. Lachko makes his way out of turn 12 into turn 13, and he will then climb back up the hill into the final corner. Here is Andrei Kurzim in second place. He's holding on at the moment. Look at Sascha Lenz making such great progress forward to go chasing after these guys. And now I've been told that we may be going full race distance as well, so we'll have to see now what the situation ends up being. Either way, I'll just tell you what we see, shall I? It's my job as a commentator. Still, we hope you're enjoying the action. It's been a very entertaining race either way, despite the issues that we had earlier. This rerun of this second race has been fantastic so far. Great battles in the mid-pack. It's spread out a little bit more at the front now, but we have to keep our eye on number 2, Sascha Lenz as well. Andrei Kurzim's bodywork has come off the truck. It's finally snapped free. So he's lost that individual sort of fouling piece, and hopefully it hasn't caused any damage on the back of the truck or any damage to the tyres. There is what's left of Adam Lachko's Freightliner. Very freight lighter, it must be said. He makes his way up out of turn 3 now to turn 4. I love the look of those Freightliners. They're such cool trucks with the sort of long nose configuration, the engine right in the front of these things. Then we have Andrei Kurzim nearly 8 seconds back. He's only got a little gap now to Sascha Lenz. Sascha closing in very, very quickly. But look at Lachko here. What fantastic camera work as well by all of the guys around the circuit. We're very lucky to be racing in these conditions, I must say. Even later than planned, though. And Lachko still continues to extend this lead at the front of the race. And if he continues to hold on to this, it will be his first race win of the season. So far, Norbert Kish has had 3 race wins, 3 pole positions. The only other drivers to win a race were Sasha Lenz and Antonio Alberthetti, getting 1 each at Misano a few weeks ago. And it is confirmed now that we will do full race distance. So apologies for the grey area on that. Just wanted to make sure that if there was an extra communication, I will tell you exactly how it is. That's one thing you can always rely on me for, is I will just say it how it is here on commentary. Maybe a little bit too honest sometimes, but still, it's part of the job. Anyway, Lachko out of the final quarter, then he will complete lap 9. Our counter shows you how many laps have been completed, so we'll have 3 more laps. Sorry, 2 more laps, there you go, my maths isn't great. Wait for Adam to come across the line now. There he is. Oh no, sorry, Andrei Kurzim, so Adam's already gone past. So down the straight once more. Sasha Lenz closing in on Andrei Kurzim. And closing in ever so much more on the brakes. Look at that. Incredible, incredible stuff by Sasha Lenz. And now, well, you've got to think Andrei Kurzim will be looking in his mirrors quite a lot. Look how bright it is down there on the way into turn 2. I mean, the drivers will have that behind them, but the glow from the sun almost directly into our camera. It's a beautiful shot, but not perfect for our cameras. Now, here comes the attack then. Sasha Lenz starts moving out and moving around the back of Andrei Kurzim's truck. He knows he's got a couple of laps to do this, but he's going to want to do this as soon as possible. He's not going to be doing any waiting around right now. He needs these points for the championship. He needs to get them as soon as possible and as quickly as possible. You can see a bit more dust kicked up there by Adam Lachko as he continues to lead the way. Only 0.4 of a second, and even less than that now between these two. The Iveco S-Way versus the MAN. Sasha Lenz, of course, incredibly, incredibly quick. Andrei Kurzim had a couple of wins last season in the championship. He had a fantastic win in Harama. He's had 8 race wins in the championship, 10 podiums. So he's going to be at least looking to add another podium to that tally. The driver chasing him down, Sasha Lenz, has 10 race wins, 40 podiums. Sasha, again, looking to add even more to that big tick list. There's body panels and all sorts just strewn across the circuit everywhere you look. And I believe we will have one more lap here at the Hungaroring on this wonderful and beautiful Saturday evening. Back on board with Sasha we go. Round the final corner and across the line we go into the sunset. You can see one bug, unfortunately, has not made it to the end of the race there, but he's given us a wave. Now let's just see what Sasha can do on the brakes, because he closed up so much last time on Andrei Kurzim. And look again, right with him as they go into turn 1. Incredibly close, absolutely incredibly close. Tries to get the run down the hill. He's on the outside going into turn 2, but if he can hang it around the outside here, that'll be the inside for turn 3. And he has to turn in at some point, Andrei. Gives him a little bit of a touch to the don't touch racing machine. Andrei hangs him out to dry. I don't think there's an overlap. No, Sasha Lenz has to get out of it. And Andrei goes through and continues to hold his second position in this race. Last lap is confirmed now. So only a handful of corners left to go for Sasha Lenz to get the job done. I would have thought he'd got it done by now with the pace that he caught up to Andrei Kurzim. But as my idol and legendary commentator Murray Walker once said, catching is one thing, overtaking is quite another. And Sasha, well, he's proving that right now. He can't quite get the legs on Andrei, but you can expect a dive down the inside into either turns 12 or 13. So they're going out of the chicane now into turns 8 and 9. The left-hander is turn 8. Then they shift the weight over, throw the truck into turn 9. And they've got a short squirt down to turn 10, which is this long, fast left-hander where they're pretty much almost flat out around here in most machines. Then the much tighter turn 11, the right-hander. Doesn't look like Sasha's close enough to get the run through there, though, you know. I was expecting him to be right behind Andrei Kurzim going into there, and he's not able to do anything yet, is he? He is not able to stick with them. We had a quick glimpse, though, of Adam Lachko just a moment ago, who is going to come round the final couple of corners. Here he is in the Bagheera Racing Freightliner. Well, contact with your two teammates at the start of the race is not exactly what the team would have wanted to see, but this is what they'll want to see. Adam Lachko takes the win in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, his 57th win on record. Great job by Adam Lachko to take a win in this race in what has been a very tough evening for the championship and the teams. Andrei Kurzim holds on for second. What a great drive that is. Sasha Lenz finishes in third position, and that was a beautiful conclusion, it has to be said, to what was a very messy start to the racing this evening, but still fantastic driving from all throughout. Anthony Janiak finishes fourth. Shane Brereton takes his second win of the day in the Promoters' Cup. He'll be really happy with that. Steffi Halm, well, makes it down the inside into turn 1, but she finishes the race in 6th position. Stefan Faas, Martin Gibson and Heinrich Clemens-Hecker round out your finishers. Teo Calve, unfortunately, retiring early on. Well, what can you say? Adam Lachko has been there and done that. And it's a very, very well-deserved win, that is, for Adam. He had a tough season last season, and he's had a really tough start to the campaign. And it's good to see that just being turned around slightly. The team there saying well done to each other, and obviously the Don't Touch Racing guys. Look at that. They're the penalty markers that are supposed to be on the edge of the circuit. Oh, I love that. Fantastic stuff by the marshals here at the Hungaroring. Great sense of humour. Well, the drivers see these penalty markers as a bit of a nightmare as they try to avoid them all, but having marshals wave them at you like that, I imagine, would bring a smile to anybody's face. It certainly brought a smile to mine. I'd sort of hint at the guys showing me in my commentary position right now, but it's very dark in the back of where I am, so you probably won't be able to see me even if we tried. But Sasha Lenz beeping the horn at all of the marshals, letting them know that he respects all of their work, and of course we do that as well. You know, the marshals everywhere we go, all around the world, fantastic to have, helping us keep the racing running and keeping all running smoothly. And I have to give a big shout out to them as well for the fact that they cleaned everything up as quickly as they could between the two races that we ran here. You know, after that mess of a start, they did a really, really good job at getting that all cleaned up. And another shout out as ever to Smart Witness for the judicial review footage that they provide us with. We've received lots of footage everywhere in all forms this evening and throughout today that shows us the fantastic angles that you can get from inside these trucks, and it helps us pick the incidents apart even further in many more ways. One of the Bagheera team managers is just making his way around the back of the garage right now, looking very, very happy indeed, and completely understandable. And Adam Lachko now creeping his way into the pit lane. And he will be a very, very happy boy indeed. Adam is always quite a smiley character, to be fair. They're being told to go all the way down to the paddock, I believe, right now. He gets a big cheer from his team. Beeping the horn as well. They bow to him as well. Fantastic stuff. Love the camaraderie for this championship. So I think the drivers will be making their way down to the paddock in their trucks. We may get them back up for the podium, though, so do bear with us. And like I say, I really appreciate all of you sticking around with us this evening. And, of course, continuing to keep your eyes on our broadcast and follow along the incredible truck racing action that we've got here going on. There is Lachko taking the checkered flag and taking the race win. A very impressive tally for Adam in the championship, and another one to add to the list. Andrei Kurzim as well. Fantastic defensive work from him. A really, really strong race from the front row of the grid. He started from pole position, and he said earlier to Christina that the race pace just wasn't there, and he was hoping that they could just hold on in this race, and he has done exactly that. Well done to Andrei Kurzim on second place. And the Iveco S-Way pace truck leads our field down. There's a beautiful shot of the moon. Glorious stuff, whether that's Mike or Lewis. Hats off to you, boys. So, a quick recap then. Well, where do we even start with that? Drivers very, very excited to get this race underway. Maybe a bit apprehensive about how low the sun was getting and whether that would cause any issues. And, well, unfortunately, issues were what we had. Contact between, well, you name it, just about everybody in the opening corners. Accident after accident caused red flag at the start of the race, namely for this third impact here between Jamie Anderson, Teo Calve and Norbert Kish. I've never seen the roof of a racing truck or any racing vehicle really peeled back like a tin of sardines. There was a quick shot of Barbara there showing pretty much the emotion we all thought of. Oh dear, that was a bit of a shame. Norbert Kish waving to his fans, showing the appreciation, but great to get the race back underway. And a fantastic battle it was all the way through. Well done to Adam Lachko, Andrei Kurzim and Sasha Lenz for their podium positions overall. And well done to Shane Brereton as well for taking a win in the Promoters' Cup. Well, the moon is very high in the sky here at the Hungaroring, and everybody's nights have just been shortened by quite the length, and especially the teams in the paddock. They're going to have a lot of hard work to do heading into the darkness tonight, and I do not envy them one bit. But Adam Lachko, well, it's a big thumbs up from him. He takes the race win ahead of Andrei Kurzim and Sasha Lenz. A fantastic podium, if you ask me. Anthony Janiak with a great fourth place as well, ahead of Shane Brereton, your Promoters' Cup winner. Steffi Halm finishes sixth after battling very hard with just about everybody throughout the race. Then it's Stefan Faas finishing in seventh place, second in the Promoters' Cup. It's not René Reiner in 8th position, but it is actually Martin Gibson taking the number 77 truck to 8th place. And then we have Heinrich Clemens Hecker in 9th place, and he was the last finisher with Teo Calve retiring. And his teammate and race winner, Adam Lachko, is with Christina.
Yes, he is. Obviously, first. Family is always first. Adam Lachko, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, of course, to a very not normal race. Of course not. How did you deal with this situation?
It's not normal race because on the first start we see what happened. It's many trucks broken. Also, Norby have big destroy of the track. And after this red flag, many cars is a lot of plastic flying. Must fix it. We also. But another part of the truck, my truck, is good. We fixed the plastic, and after we must concentrate for a new start. And on the new start, I try cool down and go very quickly to the forward. And I waiting for some mistake or some good space for pass to the first position, and it's happened, and I'm very happy.
Great battle with Andrei Kurzim as well, for example. Was it a bit difficult because you had the images of the first lap in your mind and the red flag, and then were trying to compete and give the maximum speed and overtake again? Or were you a bit defensive?
No, I every time erase and concentrate for the forward for next race, for the next lap. And when you thinking about what happened before is not good, and it stay in your head. You must change and concentrate for a new race.
Different procedure. You need to go to the podium right now. You will be shuttled. This is why we are in the paddock here. So we can drive you there. Okay, let's go.
Thank you.
Come on.
And look at these shots here at the Hungaroring. Isn't that beautiful? It's an incredible place to be. Very scenic and very pretty. And, well, Norbert Kish may still lead the Drivers' Championship, but I can tell you right now that he will not quite have that smile on his face back in the awning. Sasha Lenz moves back up into second place in the championship ahead of Jochen Hahn. Alberthetti and Halm are in 4th and 5th places. Then we have Lachko, Teo Calve, Shane Brereton, René Reiner and Andrei Kurzim rounding out your top 10. Well, it looks like we will be getting the podium in just a moment's time, just before the sun goes down. But before that, here's a look at the Promoters' Cup as well. Teo Calve is top of the pile ahead of Shane Brereton and Jamie Anderson. We saw those three on the podium a little bit earlier. Stefan Faas is fourth in the championship ahead of Clemens Hecker, and then Martin Gibson is classified in 6th place. The sun very quickly going down here. It's not getting any cooler, though. I can tell you that in my commentary position, it's very warm right now. I wonder if the guys can give us a quick shot of exactly where I am. You probably only just see my face in a microphone, to be honest with you, if we did. But I'm in the back of a truck in the paddock itself, actually. But instead of showing you my ugly mug, we're going to go down to the wonderful Christina. She's much nicer to look at than me.
Thank you very much, Chaz. And what is really nice to look at, so it's Adam Lachko here with his son, and we're driving to the podium right now. Throughout here, all the rest of the spectators still here, sun is going down. And yes, of course, truck racing has a lot of highlights. Let's have a look at the highlights of race 2.
Thank you.
Very appreciative of that transition there, Christina. I like that. So we all lined up with the sun still in the sky, ready to get the race underway. Steffi Halm starting near the front of the grid behind Andre Kurzim and Shane Brereton. Everybody was led away in very tentative fashion, but when the race got going, it was far from tentative. Contact between Alberthetti, Kurzim, Hahn, Anderson and Norbert Kish then led to contact between Brereton and Lachko. Brereton and Sasha Lenz with that big send sideways, and then more contact between Anderson and Lachko, and then Lachko and Calve. And then to add to the list, Calve then lost the back end and spun completely around in front of Jamie Anderson and of course Norbert Kish as well. Here is the moment where Anderson, you can see, steps on it there to try and get out of it, hitting the back of Adam Lachko. The two of them just avoiding Teo Calve, but Norbert Kish unfortunately receiving that secondary bit of contact which put him up on the barriers, and then the roof getting peeled away on his truck by the door of Jamie Anderson. Neither of them would continue in the race after that. Antonio Alberthetti's truck very badly damaged as well. They would not come back into the race due to a problem with the rear axle. Here's another look at it though from up at turn 4. Well, the penalty marker didn't even survive that one, but great to see that after such a massive accident like this, all of our drivers were perfectly okay. Just a little bit in shock and, of course, very frustrated with the situation that caused all of this contact, of course. It's not nice to see, but the main thing is that everyone is all right. You can see, look at the panels and all of the wires and everything moving there in Norbert Kish's truck as it crashes back onto the ground. We got the race back underway though in twilight, and before you knew it, Adam Lachko was back at the front after a great battle with Andre Kurzim and the other guys all at the front of the pack. Janiak down the inside of Brereton in this great fight. Sasha Lenz capitalising from that. A beautiful move from Sasha down the inside of Anthony Janiak would put him up into 3rd place. From there though, he would not be able to get past Kurzim and Lachko would take the win. And here is Adam right now. I'm in that blue truck there actually, on the left of the shot. I'm literally in the back of that truck. Adam Lachko is stood right here beside me. And he's going to make his way up to the podium in just a moment, I believe. Makes his way through the garage. That's where all of our broadcasters are. Everybody working hard, of course, to bring these pictures to you. They've done a fantastic job already this weekend. And to be honest, it feels like Sunday night here. We've had so much going on, but it's already Saturday. They're saying, where is the podium? What is going on? I'm not sure everybody knows really what the protocol is right now. And if I could understand what they were saying, I would tell you. We have Stefan Faas and Sasha Lenz actually around the back of the garages as well. We're all waiting to just see what the situation is here, to be honest with you. And what we'll do actually, in times like this, it's always good to go back to Christina.
Always a good idea. Thank you very much. Just have a look back at your commentary position and you will see us, Shane Brereton here. What a strange way to finish this evening. You told me after race 1, headlights on. Yes, they were on.
Yeah, you definitely needed them. And as the sun come down, corner 1 was really difficult. You couldn't see. You had to just brake early. Couldn't look in your reverse cameras, nothing. It was hard work.
Absolutely. So you're really emotional right now because are you really happy that you just got through?
Yeah, I'm very pleased. I think in the incident, I knocked my tracking out, so I was on the back foot and I was having to drive really defensive. In fairness to Curzon, I blocked him and then I got a gap and I think he sold me a dummy because I got the gap, so I took the racing line and he was at the inside and I thought, nah, that's fair, let him through.
That's really a fair sportsman, and of course with the images you got in mind because of the red flagged situations. How did you deal with that? I mean, you needed to get back on track so quickly.
It's quite disturbing when you see like Norbert's cab and then you look at them barriers and see that and you're thinking, I got to go again. But, you know, we've been doing it a long time and the only time I've seen that before was here and Norbert was involved with that as well.
So right now we got going to the good images. You on the podium, and first of all, of course, the podium of the European Truck Racing Championship. Thank you very much, Shane.
Thank you very much. Bye.
So Chaz, it's you back again. A little bit different procedure as normal, so not the same procedure as every year.
No, indeed, and well, this is part of the circus. This is what we love. You know, we sometimes have to just go with the flow in motorsport, and this is one of those exact moments where we just need to see what comes our way, and we will still celebrate the achievements of these drivers as they make their way up onto the podium. We see the green room right now, as I believe we have. I think this is on board with Lewis in the area behind the podium. Lewis showing us exactly how it all goes down back here. We have Martin Gibson in there as well. I think Martin will actually take a podium in the Promoters' Cup here. So on his debut in the championship, after saying he was really struggling, obviously with a slightly depleted grid, he will still be right up there. And it's good for him to get some silverware, or at least goldware, away from this weekend for the René Reiner team. Everybody deep in conversation, talking over, I don't even have words, whatever happened. All of the action that unfolded early on in the race and all of the incidents, of course, that took place. So we're going to get the announcer out on the circuit. The flags are being hung up as well, and in just a moment we will get drivers out there on the podium. So Sascha Lenz, third place overall in that race, makes his way out. A brilliant drive in that race by Sascha. Awesome effort. Very well done indeed. Next up, joining him on the podium, fantastic drive by Andrei Kurzim. Great defending, and considering that he said they had no pace today, he really stuck with it and did a mega job. And your overall race winner, everybody, Adam Lachko, the Czech driver from Bagheera. Very well done to Adam, and that will mean a lot. Great to see him on the top step once again. And the drivers will, in just a moment, receive their trophies before the national anthem. Third place trophy for Sascha Lenz. Great to see still all the team members and all of the fans down there in the pit lane still cheering on their favourite drivers. And like Adam said, the memory of that first race and the accident, they put it back to the back of their minds. Kurzim loves it in second place. Fair play to him. A great drive. And then your race winner, Adam Lachko. A kiss for the trophy as well. And that will go very proudly on display in the Bagheera Racing Team awning here at the Hungaroring, I'm sure. There you go then, the national anthem of the Czech Republic, or Czechia. And the guys will pose for some pictures before, I'm sure, a lot of relief will hit them as they get to spray the champagne. And I'm sure that now they know that they've got a long night ahead of them. I'm not sure how much they're going to absolutely soak each other, but we'll see. Some of these drivers, they don't get that many chances on the podium. And there you go. Have that, says Sasha. Have that. Absolutely nailed him, didn't he? And look, Adam goes chasing him down. Oh, no. Even one of our grid girls gets absolutely soaked, runs for cover, gets behind the door. I think there was a cameraman in the corner there that got drenched in. Oh, Andrei Kurzim gets just desserts. There you go. That's a proper champagne fight. Fantastic. Great entertainment from these guys on and off the track, it has to be said. Well done, boys. Oh, Andrei's completely gets rid of what's left, and Lachko gives him just what's back. Oh, I tell you what, I could probably make a career of commentating on champagne fights as well. I find it just as entertaining. Beautiful. Next up then, more champagne to the podium. Oh, look at that sunset. It's beautiful. The way it reflects off that, it's great. We have the updated championship standings. It's now much closer, of course. Norbert Kish and Sasha Lenz, only 5 points between them. Jochen Hahn third, Antonio Alberthetti is fourth. Adam Lachko moves up to fifth. He's put himself right back in the title fight here in the early stages. Steffi Halm sixth ahead of Andrei Kurzim. Shane Brereton finishes in eighth. Anthony Janiak ninth. And Teo Calve still rounding out the top 10 for Bagheera ZM Racing. Well, the grid girls make their way back up onto the podium, probably hoping not to get soaked in champagne once again. But I guess in a way that's part of the job. First up onto the podium, we will, I believe, see, Martin Gibson makes his way up there. He's taken time out of doing his decking to come and race here in the European Truck Racing Championship and gets a trophy for his troubles. Stefan Fast joins him up there as well. Great to see Stefan on the podium after, of course, having that big engine change and clutch change overnight. Shane Brereton, though, takes 2 wins out of 2 today in the Promoters' Cup. Fantastic effort by Shane and the team. They'll be absolutely over the moon with that. The drivers will now receive their trophies. They'll be presented to them one by one in reverse order. Martin Gibson receiving the first of them. A very subtle celebration there by Martin. I'm sure he knows, though, it's still going to be a tough weekend. Stefan Fass, that trophy will mean a lot, to the team and to him. For everybody that worked overnight on the truck, that is going to be a really, really well looked after piece of gold, that. And, of course, Shane Brereton adds another one to the tally. Brilliant stuff by Shane. Very well done. That's his third race win in the category this season. And there you go, the national anthem of the United Kingdom. And now the drivers will pose for just a couple more photos. And I'm sure we'll be throwing the champagne all over one another in just a moment's time. Now, who's going to get absolutely drenched here? Who's your money on? Are either of the grid girls going to get soaked? I imagine they've run for cover after that first one. Oh, well, Stefan Fass absolutely caking Lewis and our camera in champagne, and he's always good at that, is Stefan. He's got fantastic banter and camaraderie with our guys. And, Lewis just come back out and he's got him again. Oh, man. Stefan, always entertaining, and he's... Lewis trying to get him back. Fantastic to see the smiles and the laughter on the podium. A cheers for the GoPro as well. Good to see Martin Gibson on the podium. And, of course, Shane Brereton, another trip up there after another fantastic day of racing. I believe one more podium is on the cards. We'll get drivers, or at least team members, from each of the teams that finished up there, making their way up. Although... there is Christina, smile on the face as well, and that beautiful sunset behind you, Christina.
Yes, it is a beautiful sunset. I'm here with the One Don't Touch Racing team. It's been a long day for everyone, but it's good to see everyone with a smile in here. But of course, we do remember all the drivers and the mechanics working over there in the paddock on the trucks could not compete in this race too on Saturday. Still Sunday ahead of us. It's been spectacular today. Of course, it's been really nerve-breaking as well. But we are looking forward for a great Sunday. Thanks everyone for watching. Please tell your friends that we are on live streaming right now. So this is the beautiful sunset. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night.